Well, it's been a long week, but hey, we are back finally. We've got the boys again with us here. Bryan Bowden, Kardos and Carlito Castro are with us. We are going to be talking about the Kecksburg UFO Incident. This one was pretty interesting. This is one of those that kind of goes up there with the Phoenix Lights and the other ones, to where these aren't just like the one or two people that see these things. This was a lot of people witnessed the event, and that's what leads up to all the questions about it, because December 9th, 1965, in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, there's a crash. Well, this fireball that was in the sky was seen over 6 U.S. states, including Canada, and thousands of people saw this, and there was different theories on what it is. Was it a Soviet satellite? Was this just a simple meteorite? Was this U.S. secret technology when we were in the space race with the Russians? Was this an actual UFO? A lot of these questions came up. Not a lot of answers. We've got the monument. It looks like a terracotta, upside down pot, with hieroglyphics. But it's one of those things, because the overall shape was kind of what was known, but there's a lot of stuff that they weren't exactly sure, and so they just kind of pieced it together. But either way, it's a really fascinating story. And so this was subject brought to Tom Kardos was interested in this. He brought this one, and we're more than happy to oblige. So right now, let's bring on the guys here. After that, we will see you next. Welcome to the Three Beards podcast. My name's Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is right. I need you.
Then live to send the innocent to their death? Is this justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
All right, and there's Chris right now. Maybe there he is. Hey, we're sans Austin. He's feeling a little under the weather. So, get better there, porn stash. Man, although he's got the beard kind of back right now, so he's got a little bit more than just the porn stash. So, well, all right, let's bring on Bryan M Bowden, Tom Kardos, and Carlito Castro to the show. Gentlemen, what is going on? How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hanging in there.
And then Brian's in the mobile office.
Oh, in the mobile office.
No, he's on. I think is he on? He may have muted it. He got no audio.
Let me go figure that out.
No, you're back. You're back.
Thank you. Good.
Yep,
Awesome.
We can hear you now. Yeah, you're still
definitely in the mobile office.
You're a little faint, but
sorry.
Yes.
I'll try to.
No, you're good. You're
okay.
He's going to get pulled over because FHP is going to go rolling by, and he's going to be this crazy guy just yelling at the center of his car. So it's going to be a welfare check right there live. So this is going to be like an episode of live PD on patrol. We're just going to be like, let's see what's happening right now on the Florida highway as he's getting pulled over. So this could be exciting. All right, Tom.
Yes, all you need now is a portable toilet bowl in your car, and you'll be set. You don't have to stop for nothing.
Tell me about it. That would be great. But I'm getting close to the area where I had a UFO experience, so I could get abducted on your show, and that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be awesome for you, Carlito, not for me.
How fantastic! Yeah, how fantastic would that be? Just live on air, just all of a sudden, just like awesome. Holy crap, where'd he go?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
So Tom, you picked this subject. So what was it? So I kind of gave the basis. What was it about the Kecksburg UFO incident that really got your attention?
I think just the propaganda, the conspiracy behind it, the cover up, just everything combined into one. And then to top it off, to tie it in with the Die Glock, the German time machine portal space capsule back from the 1940s that they secretly had, and how this thing resembles it so much. And then on top of that, you've had so many, reoccurring, encounters / UFO reports from this area over the years, just repetitive. And then on top of that, you've had multiple Bigfoot sightings in the same spot in Kecksburg. So I think it's all kind of tied into one.
And I put this is the current, the little monument that they erected. And so you can kind of see where it kind of looks like an upside down terracotta pot.
Yeah,
I was thinking more along the lines of acorn, like a giant acorn.
And that's actually what they call it, is like an acorn-shaped UFO.
That actual model was created by Unsolved Mysteries for their show, their episode they did on Kecksburg.
Yeah.
And they graciously donated it to them to keep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. There's lots of theories. I mean, because we'll get into. I'll go into a little more detail right now on the basic of it. Yeah. So what happened is that it was, I can't remember the exact time when the research, but I know December 9th, 1965. People were out there, and there was just this massive fireball that was streaking across the sky, and you had, like I said, across 6 U.S. states, Canada, in Ontario, Canada. There's people that are looking, and they could see this thing, and then there's a crash right outside of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Well, the theories were that it could have just been because there was a lot of things of like hot metal fragments that were coming down. So the real prevalent theories were this was a satellite, either ours or Russian, that crashed. But there's also a lot of people that said when they saw it, that there was a solid object that was kind of acorn shaped. It had these weird symbols around it, and we'll get into a little bit. Even though the military officials and stuff that came out there said that they didn't find anything, there was reports of a truck hauling something that was acorn shaped off, and that's one of I put it in the banner. And that was one of the pictures that somebody sketched. They showed basically at that time, 1960s version of a lowboy hauling away this acorn shaped thing on top of this trailer.
I mean, if it was a satellite, I don't think the FBI would have made it their point to get out there right away and just rope off the area, because there's other satellites, and they have like GPS in the world that shows when asteroids or something's gonna fall. They kind of have an idea, and they say, oh well, this may be hitting, but it's gonna burn up before it hits. But they expeditiously whisked it off. Like, I don't know.
Isn't that kind of what they always seem to do? Everybody says, well, no, it's not anything, but it's kind of amazing how the military is right there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already tracking it, and they seem to show up within, a half hour, 45 minutes of this. Because I think most people report it's like, you got Cletus out there that shows up in this pickup truck, and holy crap, what the hell is this? I'm looking at it, and the next thing you turn around, here's the guys pulling up in green, with rifles saying, hey, you need to get out of here. Why? Because it's dangerous.
No, they hit Cletus with the men in black.
The thing with the military is that, they were, talk about NORAD, they're very much aware of what was coming into U.S. space through radar and whatever other technologies they were using at the time. So they were tracking this. Now, I don't know if they were expecting it to be an unidentified flying object. They may have been leaning more towards the Russians, but that's why the military was there as quick as possible.
Yeah, I was watching this documentary on it that an eyewitness, it's an older guy, I think he's like maybe in his 70s or something, and he says he recalls everything just how it happened, and that the authorities or whoever showed up right after the incident, after the crash, it was no longer than 45 minutes. He said that they were all there already. Like everybody, like they knew that thing was, you know, like like you said, Brian, tracking it or something, and that they knew that it was gonna, like, you know, be around that area. They didn't. I guess they didn't know it was gonna crash, but they were like tracking it. And then he also said that that thing came in from the east. The craft came in from the east, and then it turned south, went towards another small town right next to Kecksburg, and then it turned right back around, did a 180 and turned right back around to Kecksburg, and that's where the crash happened. Pretty wild.
Yeah, this didn't act like a fireball would happen.
Right,
You know?
right. So it wasn't. Yeah, that's what they said. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't just randomly just crossing the sky. No, this thing was maneuvering, like back and forth, and, you know, turning 180s and stuff. So yeah, they said it was definitely a aircraft.
Right.
It was described as a wood-like object. I wonder, any thoughts on what the material might have been? I mean, if it was wood and it fell from space, it would have disintegrated. It would have burned up. But people described it as a wood-like looking object.
Yeah.
Maybe with the technology back then, they that's all they kind of knew what to describe it as. But I mean, this lady, 80-something-year-old Jenny Ziedman, was part of Project Blue Book. She said the same thing. It changed direction in the sky, and she said there's no way this was a meteorite. This was something with intelligence and intent that was, you know, knew what it was doing. So, you know, landing spacecraft or whatnot. So, you know, I can't, you know.
One of the guys that really investigated the heck out of this is Stan Gordon.
Yep.
And he has hundreds of reports, and they still come in today. But someone he talked to that was pretty much in the woods, really close to this object. He was talking to a couple of people that were that close. Said that the object was metallic, like a rusty or you know, color. It was at least, you know, 10 to 12 feet, you know, high, so a human can stand in it. And it was about a minimum of 15 feet wide, 15 to 20 feet wide. So the hieroglyphics or the things that were on there were reported. One of the witnesses that was there was very specific because they studied Cyrillic Russian. And he reported that it was raised. It wasn't like there was etchings in the metal. It was raised off of the object, and he knows Cyrillic, and it was similar to it, but the closest thing that he was able to research was that it was more Egyptian looking, if you had to put a stamp on it.
As to Justin's question, it'd be a little awkward if, you know, if we were all just to come out and admit, you know, that we've been probed. You know? Yeah, no, it's, oh my God, yeah, that's, you know, it's got to be funny that, you know, why is that always like the thing? You know, I've always thought that as I've gotten into the subject, what would be what was always a fascination where, you know, they had that thing. I was anal probed. It's like, why would somebody fly billions of light years, come all the way over here, and all they want to do is shove something metal up your butt? You know, it's like, it's never made sense. But there's people like, oh no, I was definitely. It's like, I'm not sure. A space colonoscopy. I mean, I'm not sure why this is happening.
I can explain that to you very, very easily if you really want to know why. And
find out what we eat.
Through a lot of years of research, it's not that they have an enjoyment of shoving a wand up your ass. Most of the extraterrestrials that come to this planet, their race is dead. It's done. They need a way to, make their race continue. And it just so happens that human DNA is almost perfect for that type of manipulation, because we do have some junk DNA in it. They literally are using us to continue their race. So that's why, in order to get women are easy. You can go harvest an egg from them. Not a problem. In order to get sperm from a man, there's many ways you can go about it, but the quickest is
we don't want that probe.
You don't want the probe, but it's going to provide you with what you want, what you're looking for, the sperm.
Yeah.
There is a spot there that will, boom, instantaneous. Folks, don't try this at home, okay?
I mean, don't they just need the supermodel alien? I mean, wouldn't that be a little easier than the whole probing thing? It's like Captain Kirk. It'd be a willing, sample, not something that you'd have to be forcibly taken. Because I'm pretty sure there's some guys that are like, oh yeah, I did it.
Oh.
I'm sure there'd be a few.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that would say, yeah, I did it, try to put a light on here. I pulled off to a rest stop, which is not really good talking about things that, whatever. I'm not going to go there.
You got to watch out for the rest stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm not getting out of this car. The doors are locked.
Hey fellas, I'd like to point out like the pink elephant in the room. What did y'all take, or what is your idea about this craft in Kecksburg resembling the Bell from Germany, where they had some type of relationship with aliens as well? What do y'all think on that, man? It looks very similar to that Bell.
I don't have to go first. Somebody, somebody take this.
I kind of mentioned that in the beginning of that resemblance of the Die Glock, however you want to call it, was pretty much spit and image, replica of the 1940s Germany, time machine / craft that they had chained up around the ring, and they were pretty much, it was like their prototype time machine, and then it just disappeared after the war. So maybe they traveled in time and they got back into 1965, Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, and Kecksburg is a German name for the town, and in Pennsylvania, a high number of the people there are of German descent. So, I mean, it kind of goes 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, that is true. Mm-hmm.
I did not see that coming. Sorry. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great connection, Tom. I mean, I like the logic and the thought process on that 100%. I just don't, from the diagrams of what the Bell was, or, the Nazi clock, I think it was a little bit more angular, but who knows? I mean, could have been crude. That's a great theory. But why would they go to, in all seriousness, why would they go to Kecksburg?
Why did Marty McFly go to 1958? From 1987.
1.81 gigawatts. That's why.
Yeah.
The thing
you gotta
is,
get the clock tower.
When that Bell disappeared, the Glock disappeared. So did about 250,000 Nazis. When it disappeared, actually, speaking of the Bell, I mean, another correlation. I literally filmed a UFO on the Jersey Shore, and if you look at it, sure as hell looks like the Bell, which is interesting.
So what do you guys think about them bringing it back up in December 2005? Why, if it died, why would you bring it back up? Like, it was its 40th year anniversary, so most of the people have perished by then, or the people are a little older, way older. So why would you bring it back up and put more spotlight on it? I mean, that makes no sense to me. Like, it was a satellite. Why would you bring it back up? What is your thoughts on them bringing it back up in 2005?
Money, research, notoriety.
Money.
People want to grab money for certain channels that are networks to get more money out of ratings. But honestly, I was going to mention too that they lost. Apparently they lost the records, and NASA was sued because of this, because they actually lost the records, or whatever they had was redacted so bad that they couldn't get anything out of it anyway.
They sure lose a lot of important stuff, don't they?
When have you known somebody that big to lose documents? Like, everything is stored in a file in a dusty storage room, and you lose the documents so close.
Telemetry data to get to the moon. Oops, we re-recorded over that.
Yeah.
I think they're related to the Clintons about emails, but one of the reasons why they bring it back is because Stan Gordon, who is pretty much in my opinion, the focus on this, who's the lead, if revolving around the entire Kecksburg incident, he has a Kecksburg UFO festival. He's one of the primaries in it, and it's about continuing on, with the subject, and just getting money and creating a nice festival around something. I mean, why the hell do we keep talking about Roswell?
I think that, that one, it's kind of, Roswell is that big one because everybody likes a good mystery. I mean, if you really want to figure out, like, people want to kill conspiracies, don't be so blatant in what you're hiding. I mean, you could literally just say, look, we're currently doing research on the project. We can't talk about it, and then it's there. You come up to and you say, hey, Brian, no, there was nothing there in Roswell. You're like, there was literally something that crashed over there. No, there's nothing there. And immediately everybody's like, holy crap, what? And then it goes crazy after that.
You got to also understand that when Roswell took place, right, one of the place that they sent the debris and the information, everything, was Wright-Patterson. Where is that located?
Yeah.
Ohio.
Ohio. Right? How close is Ohio to Kecksburg?
Oh, fairly close. I mean, that's where they took the Roswell. That's where they took the Roswell wreckage.
Yep. Wright-Patterson was the main, place to bring all this crap initially until
Hangar 18
created Area 51, and also there's other places that are now more secret than Area 51 wherever, but interesting case.
Yeah, it is. And it's one of those things. A lot of people, everybody wants to sneak in Area 51. That's a research facility. That's not. Hold on a second. There's not really anything there. The S4 site, there's something there.
Yeah, S4. I was going to say S4. If you want to see something, get into S4, not Roswell.
Yeah, Patterson. There's something there. Just Area 51 is just simply, hey, we're SR-71 Blackbird. We're testing this, this craft. I mean, you're not going to see little green men come walking out of a hangar, high-fiving a military officer like Paul, from the movie Paul. It's like, it was, you're not going to see that at Area 51. That's clearly, it's clearly secret military projects that are being tested. I mean, there's only,
But it almost makes you wonder, do they really do some mind altering to the people who retire from Area 51 or the military people who retire? Because we have so many ways to report stuff anonymously now. So you would think there would be somebody who comes forward and say, yes, this is at Area 51 or this is at this base. But I'm not going to say what base, but I mean, you would just think that somebody would come forward because people get mad all the time. I mean, and I'm just finding it weird that we know these things exist. We know Area 51 is a very top secret location. Not the location actual, but what's inside Area 51. So why hasn't anybody came forward? Your thoughts on that?
Bob Lazar came forward and he got blackballed and, pretty much blacklisted and nobody believed him.
That's why I actually believe more of what Bob Lazar comes out and says over other ones. I mean, Brian, stole, he stole a little bit of the show thing here, but because he talked about it. I'm not sure if everybody's saw the article. We don't even really have to name names, but the one where somebody, was, basically it came out that currently is working with Space Force. Yeah, and he's supposed to be one of the preliminary disclosure. Well, you're not going to be anywhere near disclosing anything. I mean, even if you were, like, if you said, like, hey, this is going on, you're not going anywhere near a government project. They're not going to have you working on anything. You're not even going to be a guard at one of these facilities, let alone helping them work on a project. So I'm immediately, red flags are just popping like crazy.
Right, but like I said earlier, and we won't mention his name, but unless your job is to purposely use disinformation for your whatever purpose it may be. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate every man, woman, child, and animal that has helped us in the military, you know, the people that have given their lives and their careers for this country so we can have what used to be called freedom. But you got to understand there are people that are coming forward that worked in the government and they still work in the government. And when you were saying, Chris, you know, why would people, you know, with so many different ways to blow the whistle. If I worked in the military and I did 40 years there or 20 or 30 or whatever, that's a good pension, especially when you're working in areas like this. You're going to be compensated, and you're gonna you know after all those years, you're gonna just blow it by opening your mouth saying, "Dude, we got aliens there, man." No, that's why most people don't do it. I mean, I found out probably 20 years ago that my mother's cousins, the husband and wife, helped to design and build the stealth fighter and the stealth bomber. And they would be picked up in California and flown in a white, numberless, nameless jet out to an area, call it Nevada or whatever you want to call it, to help build it. But when you're dealing with something of extraterrestrial, when you're dealing with something with extraterrestrials, everything's compartmentalized. Like Bob Lazar was working on something specific. And if you're not familiar with the other aspects that when you bring it together, great. You can just say, I'm working on some kind of freaky system that uses potato chips to fuel it.
You know, and we're going to, we'll just use the initials LE. It's just, I don't think, I don't think that, what he's saying that he's lying. Like it's one of those things. What they're doing is the same way like the Tic Tac footage. They've released this thing for the simple purpose of it's just like anything. When you're trying to break into a place and there's a guard dog, you take that big, huge, raw piece of steak and you chuck it over there. The dog goes for that, and you're right on past. Well, what they're doing is most people in this paranormal interest field, he'll throw something out there. Most likely it is true, and everybody's just gobbling out in the scrap. They're just like tearing this thing apart. Well, meanwhile, you're not looking at what took place behind you. Something else just went by. That semi that's hauling that piece of equipment that was the smoking gun just sailed on by, and nobody even paid attention to it because you were so focused on this little piece of disclosure information. I mean, we talked about it on a show on Into the Outer Realms. About how bogus that 9-page disclosure document was. It didn't say anything. And it got so many people to focus on this that, oh my God, they're releasing information. And you're diving into this thing. Meanwhile, everybody else is doing stuff behind the scenes. They're not being watched anymore because you're consuming something that they rolled out. Yeah.
Yep. But, it was very interesting what Craig put out today, I think it was. We talk about the U.S. government is finally acknowledging that these craft are not of this world, which basically is saying that they're coming either extraterrestrial off planet, or they're coming interdimensional, or even, inner Earth interdimensional. So, I mean, some information's coming out, but in that report that came out, the 9 pages, no one discussed the 100+ pages that were all markered. Can't talk about this. So people know what's going on, and if the government got that information, they're going to put billions of, if not trillions, into this project, or they're going to do what other people have said, Project Bluebeam, and maybe they're setting us up for a fake alien invasion.
Yep.
That's Agenda 2030. That's part of Agenda 2030. Holographic technology to make us think there is a invasion and to get us to fall into line and obey and do what they say. So actually,
Tom shared that a video like that on my chat earlier today, I think it was. And it was they were saying that in 2024, isn't that right, Tom? There's supposed to be like a fake alien invasion. and there's going to be military behind those fake alien spaceships that are going to actually fire at the public, at the people.
Yep. Live
And
rounds.
yeah, and they're gonna that and if anybody resists, or if anybody wants to fight back or whatever, that's where NWO starts, right there, right then and there. New World Order.
And if you correlate that with the fact that under a president with the letter O in his name, administration, they literally went through and fired a ton of military leaders, all the way from the top, generals to the bottom, and soldiers included, because they had a hard time with them going and making maneuvers and shooting on civilians.
Yeah.
So, just it's really crazy, and it sounds obscene, and it sounds like, oh, you guys are drinking the Kool-Aid, but these events, these world events and things that we're talking about, it didn't happen overnight. It's been going on for hundreds of years. It's been set in motion. It just seems to be culminating right now, which sucks for most of us. So, yeah. Sorry.
No, that makes sense with all the disclosure to make people, fall into that trapment, that mental trapment of, oh, shit, there's aliens do exist. So if they see that, that false flag, invasion, they're going to fall into place and pretty much be a sheep,
Well, think of it this way. If they could bring Tupac Shakur back live in a concert in front of 30 to 40,000 fans, okay?
The hologram,
or the Pope at a windowsill. What the hell do you think they really can do?
Well, they say a certain airplane crash that happened many, many years ago was the testing of that holographic technology that happened in your state, NYC.
It's such a risky subject, but God, we need to do a show on that.
Yeah,
we really do.
There's a lot of weird stuff, but this all goes back to you need that scapegoat, and the scapegoat in this case is going to be aliens. And frankly, there's real bad aliens. Actually, they're not really nice, but most of them are they're looking out for their own best interest. But they're not here to attack us. They need us, and they need our DNA. So,
hybridization.
And that's we kind of use that to circle back towards there, like with the Diglok. Some of the research I'm going to be doing a show next week on Nazi occult. The way that the ties in. So we're going to be talking about that, and because everybody knows Werner von Braun, came over along with other Nazi scientists, in paperclip and through there. And so there's a lot around that time from the 1940s on. There were several of these bell-shaped, acorn-shaped UFO sightings. And so there is the theory, kind of like what Tom was talking about, that some of these were some of the test objects, like trying to send them out there, trying to see, and that's where they pop up and they come back because they're trying to do this technology. It may not be the exact same thing that the Nazi Bell was doing, because there is a thought that is one of the things that's down in Antarctica.
Yep.
And that's why part of those things, like the radiation problem, like there's an area where, scientists, I think it was the scientists that were rescued there, they had to be given mass doses, because of radiation exposure. So there's rumor, that's some of the rumors, and that's where you think some of these ones, because I was looking for it, I can't find it. Maybe Brian, maybe you remember. There was, I want to say it was in Japan, but there was two kids that stumbled upon a miniature UFO that was in, like, I want to say it was in the backyard or something, that was the shape of a bell, but it was a really tiny object, and there was two small occupants in that.
I don't recall that, but you got to understand something. There, if you go into India and you look into the Indian,
I know what you're talking about.
It looks very similar to what the bell would have been. Within shape, it looks like a giant Indian temple, very much like the bell. So here's something that just to think about. We fight in every country around this planet since the Nazis and whatever. There's one thing, we're always fighting with each other over all these different things. We can't agree on anything except one thing: Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Every country agrees about Antarctica. So there's something there that we all agree on, no matter what the interest is. And that is something that people should be questioning right now. Like, why is it just Antarctica? What the heck is there?
Yeah, well, there's land. There's land past Antarctica, just like Admiral Byrd said. There's been actually a couple of documentaries where they mention that already. That there's like trees and valleys and all that where there's no snow. So
right.
It all goes back to what Admiral Byrd said, that there's land past Antarctica, undiscovered land.
Yeah, there is a pyramid in Antarctica that I did remote view. It's bigger than Manhattan Island.
I've been looking for that. I can't find it, man, on Google Earth. I've been looking for that pyramid.
So
yeah.
I'll try to find the exact location. I was talking to Jessica Jones a little bit about it, but something when Craig, you brought up Von Braun. He was interviewed once. Someone went over to interview him at NASA, and he happened to come in the room and said, "Let's go to lunch." And the guy said, "You were this close to, pretty much having everything you needed: rockets, a speed of sound, the whole thing. Where did you get this technology from?"
Yeah.
And Von Braun pointed up, "We got it from them." And I don't think he was talking about God or the angels. So some outside force was influencing the Nazis.
Yeah, I don't have the coordinates, but there's a reported pyramid in.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Hey, Craig, you know what? I'm not too sure, but that almost looks like the ones in Mexico City and the ones in Egypt with the Orion Belt constellation.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
With the alignment, it almost looks like it, because you can see there's one big one, one small one, and another medium one right behind it. That picture you had.
Yeah, let me bring it back up here. Let's see.
You can see there's three of them there clearly. Yeah, see?
Yeah, because you can clearly see it's a four-sided. Yeah, there's something.
That one and then that little one.
It's almost like the Egyptian pyramids, the way they're set up. Perfect sequence.
The alignment, yeah. It almost looks like.
Yeah, that's so that's one of the theories, especially when it comes to the Daglok, is how you want to pronounce the O.
Right.
There's rumor that they've been really experimenting with that technology, and for some reason the bell shape, that acorn shape, is what's needed for it to work. So that's one of the reasons why you see these ones. And so there's been several reports of these acorn shaped ones. So I don't know if that was just from experimenting, and because that's what this could have been. This could have very easily have been an experiment. It was going, something went wrong. It starts to re-enter, and then it crashes. And they come get it.
Yeah.
Do y'all think it has anything to do with like the frequency and the vibration within the bell-shaped craft? Kind of like a bell. You know how when you ring a bell, it sounds really, really loud because the noise, vibration, it resonates within the bell so much. It builds up so much that it just rings out so loud and so far, or whatever. Do y'all think maybe that had something to do with it, where the vibrations and the within the bell-shaped craft had enough energy or magnetism or whatever it is to propel a anti-gravity spacecraft?
That's not so far-fetched.
No, it's not. But the problem with that is that would be heard if it's that loud. And don't get me wrong, sound has been used to levitate objects and move them.
Yes.
So it's a great idea, concept, and theory. But I'm going a little bit more on the mathematics side of a parabola, parabola. And if you build something in the shape of that, which is what the bell basically is, if you connected the outside lines, It is one of the strongest structures you can build ever, and no matter if you beat it on both sides or top and bottom, it's very hard to destroy it. So it could have been a structural need, especially if you're going interdimensional or even a black hole or whatever. Just I was thinking more of that.
Yeah, and this structure that I've shown here, this is the one that's reported to be tied to that Nazi bell.
That's where it was like pretty much chained up to that, that round concrete.
It's located in the center, and it's.
Yep.
And so that was, and that's where kind of like we were saying, it could be frequency, it could just be a connection with the fact that, the way whatever it generated would bounce off each one of those columns, and just the way it could create. Because that's the hardest part is a lot of it's conjecture because it was never found. I mean, it's just
right.
Yeah, and it could be the secret of what makes a lot of the UFOs, the go. I mean, that was. So, without get too far away, I mean, a lot of people don't realize how close we were to world domination by the Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, like we're under 24 hours, they would have won everything.
Yeah, I mean, they were
supersonic weapons at that point.
They were developing. They would have had our Mustang fighters versus jets with missiles.
Who says that the Nazis lost, though? I mean, think about it. Think about what we did. We took all their scientists. We brought them over here. We gave them, we pretty much wiped it clean. Come over here, be our scientist. We'll give you a clean, fresh name, fresh record. Nothing, no problem. Come over here.
No, I don't think the Reich. I don't think the Reich lost. No, I think just Nazi Germany lost the. Was just on the verge of all of us being, at some point having something with the Nazi double eagle on it.
Yep.
Right.
So something that was interesting, Craig, in that image that you showed of the remains of where the bell may have been, it doesn't. If you step back a little bit, use your imagination, it looks very similar to another structure around the world called Stonehenge. Something I've always had a theory about with Stonehenge, and I just couldn't prove it, and I still can't. But I don't think Stonehenge was just like a guy's club, oh, my wife's killing me, thank God we have this place. I don't think it was technically for buried individuals. I think it was actually a portal. And I think they used sound and vibration that bounced off all the rocks in a certain shape, an oval shape. You were getting into that, Carlito.
Yep.
And I think it opened up a portal or a dimension or interdimensional, and individuals were able to travel from point A to point B. So if taking that theory and using it to that structure where this craft was located for it, and a disappearing, what happens if it was vibrating back and forth and created its own portal to open up and go into and disappear?
Yeah. Hollow Earth, Antarctica.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I really just like how it's just been nicknamed the acorn from space. Yeah, I just this is one of those things, kind of like Mothman Festival,
right?
And these ones, we've talked about this a few times, but let's say even it was a piece of space junk. There wasn't really anything here. It was a whatever it was. How cool is it that it's built such a tight community around it, where people can get together and actually just have it come together on just this mutual thing? Just whether or not it's a belief or not, there's a upside down terracotta pot with symbols on it. And, we have a festival every year. I mean, it's pretty cool. Everybody goes and has these things. They're able to sell the Kecksburg UFO merchandise. I mean, it's really cool, but at the same time, I said it doesn't do anybody harm. It's not, but it's just bringing awareness that whether or not this was an actual thing, we can all agree the military and the government handling of these things is always just completely, as the kids say these days, sus.
Yep.
Nothing
It's
to see here. Nothing to see here, folks.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Those aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it's a giant space acorn, and what would get me nervous is seeing the giant squirrel from space that it's coming to get it. You know,
Killer squirrels from space.
yeah,
Had the
giant
ice
squirrels.
age all over with a giant squirrel from space chasing
Exactly.
the acorn.
You got a bunch of people running out there. Oh, look at you! You're so cute. And then it's like the rabbit from Monty Python. It just tears you to shreds.
Either that or what was it? The woodland creatures from South Park.
Yep.
If you haven't seen that episode, see it.
Oh my God. Yeah, I like, just for me, I believe it was something, whether or not it was UFO, like alien technology, especially at that time. I mean, I would really be willing to say, because that's in the height of the space race against the Soviets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I would not be the least bit surprised that it wasn't some version, a satellite, and as it was crashing, stuff burned off of it, and what you see left is this acorn-looking shaped thing that's crashed in the field. But it would definitely make sense. But whether or not it had alien, occupants, I don't know. I mean, Project Blue Book, I could definitely see being able to play it off as it was a satellite.
But it don't even resemble a satellite. So I mean,
Neither did the Sputnik. I mean, it was a ball with with four little sticks attached to it.
Oh, the next question is, how do you attest all these Bigfoot sightings that were right after this happened? Over the years that kind of went
Space Chewbacca's
UFO sightings in Kecksburg throughout the years.
So it makes you wonder, when something comes through the atmosphere and it crashes, is that opening the portal for the Bigfoots, or is the energy so powerful there that the Bigfoots can go in and out of the portal where the sighting was and where it crashed?
Good question, Chris.
Here's the thing, right? So this object has been reported to not have crashed. Other people reported it crashing, but eyewitnesses have said that it actually lowered itself to the ground. It came in, purposely landed, like under control, intelligent control. That's one. You have to understand about where this is in Pennsylvania, and it's still within a region called the Chestnut Ridge. And if you want to talk about some strange crap that goes on, look no further than the Chestnut Ridge. Gary, look, you want to get on here, you want to get Ron Murphy on here, you want to get Eric Altman on here, and Stan Gordon on your show, and just talk about the Chestnut Ridge, because that area is filled with lichens. Butch Witowski, former paranormal investigator, called it the lichen loop. It's part of it. Bigfoot's up the you-know-what. UFO sightings, of course. It could be interdimensional. I have a theory that they are interdimensional beings, and they have the ability to. I can't prove anything. It's everything with Bigfoot, UFOs, and Dogman are theory. But
first off, happy birthday to Al.
Santa Riga,
yeah, he just had his birthday.
Happy birthday, Goomba.
Hey,
do you guys think that maybe, just maybe, that craft might have been man-made and man-operated because of the writing that it had outside? Al mentioned it was the writing Russian.
That's one of the theories about that, is that it's that, because you got to think, you're in lower Pennsylvania, Ohio. In the 1960s, you've never seen, most likely you've never seen Russian language. And so you're going to see a foreign language scrawled, onto something. It's going to look like a foreign, something like a hieroglyphic. I mean, it's going to be, so there's a chance that, yes, it could have been Russian writing.
So I had the pleasure of talking with Stan Gordon, and I probably still have access to Stan as well. But I asked Stan about the hieroglyphics, and he was the one that said to me that there was an individual that was an eyewitness very close to the object, may have even taken rolls of film of that object, by the way, which were one roll that was definitely, he said that he went through, and another in the camera. The camera roll got taken, the other one was not known about. Nobody has ever, well, a couple people have seen pictures of this craft and that bell, but they don't know where it is. But the person that saw it, the kid that saw this and took the pictures, knew Cyrillic. They knew the Russian language, and said it wasn't Russian, but if he had to he started reviewing like what other languages based off of Cyrillic. The closest thing he said was hieroglyphics. Now, something very interesting, if you take the Rendlesham Forest UFO, similar coloration, hieroglyphics or glyphs on there, and the Kecksburg, that's something that's very interesting. Put those two together and see what you can, what you make out of it.
Good thought. I mean, that's really good because I know that they were identical, pretty much like you said, hieroglyphics on both crafts.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been reported hieroglyphics on extraterrestrial recovery items, especially with Roswell too. People literally recovered like little I-beams, and even Marcel said it looked like there was like hieroglyphics on it.
That's right. Marcel said that. You're right.
Yeah, Jesse was adamant about it, but
he had to change his story.
Right. I mean, but you think about it also, like when you think about UFOs or these craft, right? Isn't it based on who's manufacturing the craft, what entities, and just like we have different, years for cars and different body styles. Who knows? I mean, maybe they have like a Ford up there, or an alien, manufacturer, and like, oh, this year we're gonna make it look like a bell or something to that effect. Change the design based off of the technology they know.
The model, yeah.
Steve, that's a great question too. Brian and Tom, Carla, maybe you guys came across this. Do you know if anybody's reached out to survivors?
Yes.
Like as they've gone, like later on. I know there's a couple people that have talked about like they still have the same story, but I don't know if they've gone, if the oral tradition is kept consistent or not.
Yeah. I don't want to be I don't want to be the guy that promotes his own podcast on there, but there is an episode of Inside the Goblin Universe where Stan actually directly answers this question. And yes, he has contacted people from way back when to when it happened, even recently. There's a lot of information about it, and people's stories are consistent. We're not above
shameless self-plugging here. So yeah.
No, I just wanted to answer that. I don't like doing that at all.
No, I'm all for it.
It's actually answered, so I can't. I'm on such a small screen right now, and that's my horn. That guy's in trouble.
No, you're already fitting into Florida. Just random horn honking. It's like people are going around like it's normal. No, I'm all for what did we do? Was it last episode that we did the whole going around talking about name brand stuff?
Yeah.
The show before that, where we did this like whole shameless plugs. It was
to answer that question real quick. There was this testimony by a person named Ron Struble, and he was pretty much like I guess he was an early teen, mid-teen back then in '65, and he actually gave his account to he gave his account to Stan, and it was pretty good. Actually, if anybody gets a chance to watch UFO Witness, which our very own Bryan Bowden was casted on that show with Ben Hansen and Jennifer Tittle, was that her name? Jennifer Tittle?
Yeah. No, it's not Jennifer. Jesus Christ, she's gonna kill me. Well, I'll remember it.
Let's put him on the spot.
She was. She's recently been on the show, so yeah.
But yeah, they do one episode focused on Kecksburg, and it's really informative. That guy, Stan is doing interviews to people. The lady Jennifer that I mentioned in the past, Jennifer Ziedman, was part of Project Blue Book, and she pretty much blew that thing out the park, saying there's no way this thing was a satellite or a meteor. So, yeah.
Something that people should ask for is not even just the future things of what the government should be. Just reveal what the freaking thing was you took from Kecksburg. Reveal it. Well, you already stated that these things are not of this earth. Reveal it. Now, I understand the government reason why. There's a lot more enemies in this world than friends. So we have to keep our intel close. You don't reveal to your enemy what your defenses are or whatever.
But it's like kind of like you said, that would have been ancient technology, if it was ours, if it's some. And that's what the craziest thing. We've talked about Roswell. We've talked about these things. Okay, so if this was an original craft, what is the problem with disclosing it now? everybody knows about the SR-71 Blackbird. They've seen it. They know the dimensions. They see this craft.
And the TREB. Yeah.
Yeah. So they know.
And Aurora.
They've seen the stealth shift. They've seen these things. They know exactly what they look like. But yet, these items, just like you said, why aren't they disclosing what was at Kecksburg? Why aren't they disclosing what was at Roswell? Why aren't they disclosing these things? Because, I mean, if it was, like they said, a weather balloon or some weather satellite they're working on, you know, are we really worried about the Russians or the Iranians or North Korea stealing the technology on how to make something out of wood and metal? I mean, yeah, it's, hey, more power to you. You know, here.
Maybe this was a real time machine, and they don't want to admit that they have a time machine. You know, Project Looking Glass.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but you also go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
You gotta wonder how long they monitor the site after something falls, or whatever the case may be. Do you think that the extraterrestrial beings try to come and recapture their ship, or try to see if it's still there? I mean, you know, it's not like they can build one every day, so you probably like, oh, well, let me go see if it's still where we landed it, or whatever the case may be. You gotta wonder, do they ever try to come back to where the coordinates of where it landed?
Oh, I'm sure you have plenty of if they send out a distress signal or if they're part of something bigger, I'm sure they look for the departed. But you have to also understand that if any government on this planet says, yep, we have entities that are not Earth from Earth, they are alien entities, it totally throws away every aspect of the fossil record and historical narrative. And part of that is, if you knew that, you know, there are alien beings, the government really isn't that powerful, what's stopping you from robbing a bank at that point? Or doing whatever the hell you want and not listening to you know, what are you going to do? We got freaking aliens up there. They can kill us at will. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm going to die. I'm going to go out big, right? That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Great answer.
You know?
Yeah, Carolyn just she talked about it. I like the scene from ID4. That's actually part of that predictive programming. We talked a little bit about it, where you've got to get everybody to where everything that comes from space or out in the woods is scary. You know, you have to be afraid of it. You know, but I think there's some people that take it too far. I think, you know, we can't assume that everybody that's not of this planet is here because they want to help us.
Oh, and that bothers me, the whole Galactic Federation.
Because
bullshit.
I'm just like,
Sorry.
it's just like Mother Nature. You go out there, you know, you've got, you know, like we're talking about, you got rabbits, you got squirrels, you got these things that are going to want to cuddle with you, but then you got the nice little nope rope with the two little fangs that's going to bite the living hell out of you. You know, and they're right there, the same thing. It just doesn't mean that it's inherently, you know, looking to kill us all. It's just, I think there is, you know, just odds. Out of billions of planets and stuff, there is going to be one civilization that's malevolent, that's not looking to help. Yep. They're looking to dominate. I mean, it just seems like
there's more than one, Craig. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Don't hug the Wookiee, like my friend Duke says. Don't hug the Wookiee.
Yeah.
I mean, just in general, right now there's at least, they know of over 250 species of creatures that exist, that have also visited this planet. Some are just in the middle. Most are in the middle. They're not black. You know, it's very black and white. They're there for themselves. Then you have an aggressive group, which is on the more of the reptilian side. And then you have other you have aliens that actually look like what would you call Sasquatch, but they are not Bigfoot or Sasquatch. It's literally, that's the species.
It's Wookiee. So did George Lucas know more than he's letting on? Did he encounter one of these?
I don't know. The picture in the promo, I look like a fat George Lucas.
Yeah.
Take a look at that.
All right, I promise I'll get another picture. That's the one I had saved, so I'll get another picture for you.
That's fine. Use something. Use the one with the tattoo and the nose piercing.
Yeah.
Or use the one where I put my face on Christopher Walken's head. You know what? Who knows? You know, George Lucas may have known stuff and subconsciously put this out there to, you know, inform people. Gene Roddenberry often talked about the use aliens and extraterrestrials, and he may have used Star Trek as a means to communicate that. They may have used him as a tool. So, yeah.
Brian, you had some good. You had a good story about that one ship that was on that declassification from the government, the Navy ship. Why don't you talk about that as we kind of get towards the end, because that was a really good account.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't pay the extra money to go see it, but this took place in the China Sea, and there was a craft that was there, and an entire like the best of the best as far as technology we have, ship of hundreds of soldiers or seamen was abducted, and they were experimented on recently, and they came back. They all gave the same testimony. These things are not nice, and it scared the hell out of them. It ruined their careers. A lot of these soldiers that were abducted for like a week, literally like experimented on as if we were going to experiment on other animals we pick up, in a zoo or whatever. Had their way with these soldiers, and when they came back, they testified privately. People were put in the witness protection program. Many killed themselves because they couldn't handle what the hell that took place and what exists. So it's a very strange case. I've got the name of it. I've got the number, USS 149 or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that the case? Yeah, I mean, it's like super duper top secret, but it's come out, leaked. Let me tell you, you should if you can get Derek Tyler on your show, he'll talk to you about some of his experiences with aliens. It's not pretty, and he's the only person in this field that really scared the hell out of me in his book. There's a chapter or two that will, if that doesn't leave you unnerved, there's something wrong with you, because these things are not joking around. There are many people who get abducted and never return. Not because they get stuck on the ship, because they get killed, then they get, basically
organ harvesting.
Mm-hmm. It's not even organ harvesting. It's like, we messed up, just kill it, boom.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But the hypothalamus, they go for what's behind the hypothalamus. I won't mention what it's called, but I think people know what that is.
Yep. And Constance, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. It's a lot of fun when we're have these guys on to chat with them. Yep. We won't say the actual name of that, because that's an instant flag by a few of the social media sites. So yeah, it's one of those things. It's where you wish you could talk about some of the things, but it's sad that you have to come up with code.
Yeah.
It's one. This topic, I mean, I'm actually glad you picked it, Tom. I mean, I said it was a lot of fun. It worked out perfect. I mean, you didn't even know by picking this thing that this was going to be something that was going to be part of the research I needed to do for next week.
It goes around the whole wheel of everything, just tied into UFOs, but Kecksburg was the main kind of topic. And kind of we went around the wheel of, UFO this, that, experience, ATIP, abductions. I mean, everything kind of goes hand in hand. So I liked it. I had a good time, and any time's good with Bryan Bowden, because he's like the professor of everything. So he's got it.
I appreciate that.
He's like a walking thesaurus.
Well, it's funny when every time anybody says the word ATIP, I just think just put the tip in, just a little bit of the tip.
Just a tip.
Just a tip.
That's how my kids think.
M.A. Allen, I'm just going to say the first part, Adreno. Yeah, so just as I said, and then and everybody now and then, you kind of like, have the shiny part like on your car bumpers, and every now and then you want to chrome, have a really nice chrome finish on that bumper. But
it may scare the hell out of you. Get it?
Yeah, you got that adrenaline. You get that real big adrenaline rush when you chrome that bumper. You should get that chrome all nice and shiny.
Here in Logan, Las Vegas. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So there we go. So
eyes wide shut.
Put them together. Yeah, it's one of those. As soon as you say those two words together, all of a sudden it's like the flags start flying.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna rest up in South Carolina right now. Please don't say anything.
Yeah, it was.
I'm waiting for
See, it's one of those-
NIBs to come out.
Yeah, see, like Carolyn put this thing. What I've used this for a few people, and it's like as we're coming here, this is what I've been saying, because I've seen a lot of people that get Facebook prison. They get put in jail all the time. I had a couple of people say, well, you've got to, you can't resist. I'm like, well, you think back in the revolutionary times, we're trying to get rid of the British. What did the founders do? They didn't walk up and punch a redcoat in the face and say, here's what we're doing. Bam. No, they printed pamphlets. They went around, they snuck, they did the stuff. And that's kind of what you do. You got to play within the system. If you can figure that out, I have yet to be Facebook popped. I have yet to be suspended.
We
Even
can
for
make
a
that
24
happen.
hour.
Stay in
I'm
jail.
joking.
I got an inmate number.
Yeah,
I got a
that's
permanent inmate
that's what-
number from Facebook.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that gets it. It's just I always laugh. It's just like repeat offenders, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys have got to
That's
learn.
Brian right there.
I go just like what we did. I just
Gotta
said
get
it, but
Teflon down and keep ducking it,
yeah, I'm not going to get Facebook popped for what I said, but I said it. It's just not out there in your face. I'm not just walking up and just punching the redcoat in the face and just like, and then wondering, why am I in the stockades again? I don't understand this.
Oh, I know why I am. Give me
Yeah.
liberty or give me death.
Yeah,
So-
well, that's what I said. You just got to learn to print the pamphlet, put it under the mug, and slide it over to your buddy there. And like I said, and you're not putting the stockades, getting tomatoes thrown at you.
I only have one social media account that I should live through now. I'm only joking.
Yeah,
Look, if I'm the guy that does it and I get time and I've posted things that weren't even controversial and they popped me for 30 days. So be it. Let me be that distraction while everybody else sneaks
Yeah.
in the background and goes, hey, blah, blah,
Well,
blah, blah, blah.
Brian,
we
Brian's
appreciate Brian being our personal lightning rod. We really appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Brian's a
welcome.
no regret kind of guy. Brian is.
No regrets. Yeah, it's one of those that we've had, a lot of people in the chat rooms. It's really appreciate everybody. Thank you guys, everybody, for the stars too. That's really awesome. It really helps us out too. And I appreciate that. Yeah, what we'll definitely do is we'll pick out and let everybody know, like on the next topic. It'll probably be, I think, October. It's probably when the next show with all of us will be. So that'll be coming up. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll figure out what topic it is. I'm not even sure whose turn it is, to be honest.
I think it's mine.
Yeah, it's either you or Brian's. Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
So,
Been a while.
all right, well, think about it.
I think we should talk about child trafficking. Only joking.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
You're trying to get us banned by the hires.
We're gonna talk about 9/11, Pizzagate, and and as all of a sudden it's like, why did this show get canceled? It was so good.
You know what? You should talk about Manly P. Hall's The Secrets to Everything.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of guys. So we'll definitely figure out what we're gonna do, because I want to get that that done. So that'll be, so we'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But so right now, so everybody can go North Carolina Cryptid and Paranormal Project for Tom Kardos, or you can go to you actually got a couple of them here. So that's gonna be, you've got Carlito and Tom Carlito's Cryptid. I think it was, God, why can't I never get this one right?
Paranormal
Kingdom, yes, thank you. It's like a tongue twister. It's like I go, I've got it, and then it just twists in my head. Yeah, and then so you can check them out there. Please go like, subscribe, follow those guys.
Give them
keep up.
stars.
Yep, give those guys. Follow them. Tom, you're usually live on Mondays, correct?
My new nights are Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and usually this Monday I was off for my wife's birthday.
Somebody's birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
This,
Sorry.
Happy birthday.
this coming Monday I have a guest, so yeah, absolutely.
Well, who's the guest? Plug it.
I have a friend of mine I've been friends with about 6 years. He had a really intense Bigfoot encounter out in Washington, so you got to hear about it.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
And that's Yeah. So then so that's one of the, so check that out Monday. And then Carlito, you got anything coming up? That, that everybody know about?
Yeah, I normally do mine on either Thursdays or Saturdays, depending on like 1 week Thursday, 1 week Saturday, 1 week Thursday, 1 week Saturday, like that. Because of the weekends. My wife has 1 weekend off, 1 weekend on, and that's the reason I do that. So when she's on, when she works, that's when I go, to work on Saturdays. But when she's off work, that's when I go to work on Thursdays because, I want to be with her on the weekends, right? So, and I have, I have Josh Ninocchio from What Lurks Beneath. Supposed to be on this weekend, the 27th, Saturday, 27th. Yeah, that's what we had it for. So if y'all can tune in to that, that'd be great.
Cool.
Awesome. Yes,
yeah, looking forward to that.
And then Brian, plug yours. What you got coming up?
You know what? What I got coming up is pods, so I can get my my podcast back up and running. And when that happens, I'm gonna have I don't know what Chris's last name is anymore. He changes his name so much, like Witness Protection Program. But he was the guy that used to go crypto normal. I know him as Chris Cyrus. I'm gonna have him on, but we're not gonna be talking about the paranormal as much as we're going to be talking about art, design, creativity. I'm not all about paranormal, folks. I also have a couple musicians coming on, and nice. I'm working very hard to get somebody that sounds like Sammy Hagar, which actually sounds, it is Sammy Hagar, to try to get him on the show because I want to talk about when love comes walking in and his UFO encounter. So I'm very, very close, but I'll let you guys know.
And why he sold off his stake in an amazing tequila. You got to ask him.
A lot of money.
I know that Cabo Wabo tequila. It's really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's actually one of the rare exceptions. The rule of thumb is the more you pay for tequila, the better it is.
Yeah.
And Cabo is one of those ones where it's not the highest priced one, but it's actually a really decent.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a tequila guy and I'm a rum guy, but I think you guys should have the Three Beards pod oil. You guys should come out with the Three Beards beard oil. Seriously.
Yeah,
and,
we need to.
With Austin there, maybe some lubricant. Maybe. Yeah. So,
yeah, 70s Johnny Holmes stash.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we still have the, like I said, I still have some of the beard oil that Tanya Medea made from In and Outer Realms. So I still
I'll tell you, it's a good idea. Just ask somebody to make it for you. Put your name on it, brand on it, and if they buy it through you, you get a percentage. They get a percentage. I mean, there's plenty of companies that would do it. Maybe get a Florida-based company to do it, so you guys get a little more extra. Some from the Sunshine State.
Yeah, we got to definitely try to find one. We did originally have one from local, but then it just wasn't at the times. So it's like we left on good terms. It was one of those. So who knows? Maybe down the road we could get back together with them. That'd be cool.
I used to make my own vape, and I made a lot of good vape, and a lot of my brothers wanted some vape, but. I was thinking maybe an Inside the Goblin Universe vape,
there
or
you
something
go.
like that. But, the legality of everything is what it is. You just get somebody else to make it for you so you don't have to worry about the legal part, and you just brand it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the joking aside, who doesn't want to be all manly while you smell like a lemon tart, cotton candy. I mean,
watermelon pie,
Yeah.
Yep.
Strawberry apple Fuji.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that the vape flavor was there in the truck there, Chris.
Oh, it's Lush Ice and Blue Raz.
I just the manly musk is just flowing off you.
I just got cotton candy, so I'm normally a Swedish fish cotton candy, but yeah.
Oh my God.
But then, again, that was my rap name. So
yeah, I wish I could attribute the comedian that said that. It's like nothing's like walking up to a bunch of bikers and they all just smell like this fruity vape. You're expected to smell like cigars and like despair of their victims. It's like nope, it's all citrus smells. So. All right, well, everybody support these guys at shows. Go like, subscribe, take care of, and like I said, one of those things, always just let us know when your upcoming shows are, and we'll definitely post them so that way we can send them on to people.
Subscribe to our YouTube channels, guys.
Yes.
Me, Tom's, and Brian's YouTube
Inside
channels.
the Goblin Universe. Here's the
Yeah,
UFO Project. Blah blah blah.
I know we finally broke the 500 range, so it was like, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so now we just got to keep
500
climbing.
more, baby. 500
Yep.
more.
Yep, we just got to get it. It's like it's hard when we're all across the board. We're not just one one thing. So
we need to get Luis Elizondo on our podcast, and maybe we'll get some more subscribers.
Yeah, I mean, all things aside, I have it's a safe space. I mean, if he wants to come on the show, more than welcome to. Like I said, I will have open, honest discussion with him because, like I said, there's no attacks or anything. It's one of those things. I honestly believe that he's doing what he's supposed to do. That he's not lying. He's not being dishonest. He's actually doing what he is supposed to be doing. And like I said, but it's just a lot of people just believe he's risking it all. Well, I'm sorry, the person that's risking it all isn't getting invited to into Black Ops program sites and walking around DC and going in government buildings.
Right.
It's like, that's not happening. I go, you're not giving away the secrets and then being invited back in. So that's
Stephen Greer challenged him to talk to him, and he pretty much declined. So,
well, it's pretty funny because Stephen Greer is his own little freaking alphabet agency person.
Yeah. He's
just pissed off that his money's drying up because no one's believing his bullshit anymore. But look, I'm again, like you said, I'm not there to attack anybody. Whenever they come on my show, I'm very cordial. I've only recently I'm very much about the truth, and I think the only thing you guys have and everybody else has that's yours is your name and how trustworthy you are and your honesty. And if you're not honest with people, then that's the only thing you have in this life. And I've always been very honest, and I call out people that only if they're doing something deceptive, which I did recently, and I got whatever for it. But
you're just going to have the support. It's just you can't expect everybody to be happy about it. I mean, that's not how it's going to go. But yeah, like I said, that's why I agree. I mean, if you can do it that way, if you can try to do it as honestly as you can, I mean, people are going to see. I mean, they're going to know when you're being fake. When you're when you're BSing them. I mean, so it's that's what I do. But everybody, check those out. Like them on Facebook, like them on YouTube, follow, subscribe, hit those bells, ding, 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 so that way everybody gets followed, and then everybody is one big happy family.
Oh yeah.
All right, gentlemen. So you get back on the road, so that way you're not. Yeah, that way you're not getting in trouble with FHP. Get that light off.
It's not FHP no more. Didn't he say he was out of Florida?
No,
I'm out right now.
Hey, Brian, what's that blue and red light behind you, Brian?
Yeah, he didn't get abducted or pulled over, so it was a successful show. So, all right, guys, we'll get back to the get back to the families, and we will talk to you guys later on.
Good night, everybody.
All right,
good night, everybody. Peace out.
All right, this episode was brought to you by, once again, the ThreeBeardsPodcast.com. We are waiting for that sponsor. It's going to happen. We can only just drop so many names, right? Ricola, right? Starbucks, right? I mean, it's like they're going to, just somebody. We're just going to keep dropping names until somebody, says, like, I heard about that. So, but I just appreciate everybody tuning in. That was great. We actually had quite a few people, YouTube and Facebook, watching tonight. So that was one of the best ones, actually, I think, that we've had. Yeah. I think we at one point, like I said, we had a really good turnout. So, yep, Laura, French's mustard. I mean, how many times I have to drop it, French's? I've even tagged you on Twitter. Come on, what's it going to take? So check us out on social media. Go like, subscribe, follow everything. We've got them all out there. You can also, if you're not giving us stars on Facebook, you can also go to patreon.com/3beardspodcast, or you can go to our site or redbubble.com /3beardspodcast and buy merchandise and support us that way as well. And so we really appreciate everybody that's done that. We are rebroadcast every Wednesday night on ERRT Radio at 11 p.m. after Joey and Tony there on Into the Outer Realms. So we appreciate Ron for doing that for us. Thanks again for everybody watching. Appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Like I said, stay safe out there. Like I said, follow everybody, follow us. One big happy family. We will see you next week. Good night.
Yeah.